Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome to the first episode of Cinematic Bootcamp. Now, I have a commercial that I have to shoot in September. I want to do the best possible job that I can do on that commercial, and because of that, I have asked Nick Del Duca, who is a much better filmmaker than I am, to help me out and learn how to do proper cinematics. And the other portion of that is I want to improve my YouTube. I think Mr. Beast said it best. Try to make one improvement every single video. So we're gonna put everything I've learned so far into this video and every single one of these cinematic bootcamp videos. Now, as you can see, I have a little bit of gear in front of me. I have a newer slider, and then I also have this Pseudo stabilizer. Before we go into the stabilizer, that's what we're primarily going to be focusing on today. Stabilizer versus gimbal. Stabilizer, this is all done by mechanical force. The weights on the bottom here is what's going to actually keep your camera steady. Now, a gimbal uses motors. It uses electricity, so you need batteries, you need to set weight, all that kind of stuff. There's still a learning curve behind it, but one of the advantages of the Steadicam is they've been used for the last 40 or so years in cinematography. It's a well-known art that a lot of people have a lot of information online for. The problem with these, though, is you have to manually set the weights every single time you put a new camera on it, a new setup, a new lens, any new equipment at all. A gimbal, you have to do something similar. You actually have to set the balance for it. Now, where that isn't too big of a deal with the gimbal has some of its own flaws, and that's why I picked the Steadicam over the gimbal. We're going to talk about those flaws really quick. So there are definitely pros and cons to both. The Steadicam here, it doesn't have batteries. It doesn't require batteries. I don't have to worry about a motor going out. I don't have to worry about the software failing, anything like that. But these are not light. They are relatively heavy. Holding your arm out while using it can get tiresome after a while. Now, the nicer ones actually have a vest that you'd hook it up to so you can actually hold on to it longer. The advantages of these, though, in this level of cinematography, amateur level or semi-professional, these are much more budget friendly. This one was about 40 bucks. The cheapest gimbal I can find is about $100 with relatively good reviews. With this set of photo Steadicam, which I will have a link down below, I was able to go out and practice with Nick Del Duca at the dealership. But before we jump into those clips from the dealership, I want to show you how you set this up. Now, this uses a Swiss type clamp, just like this. And I recommend that you switch over as much of your equipment to this clamp as possible, because this clamp is probably one of the handiest things I've ever used. In fact, I put an adapter for one on my newer slider because overall I think it's pretty good. So what you'll do is you take your actual little clamp mount on the bottom of your camera and you screw it on like so. Now, this is a Nikon D5300 that we're using right now. You all know that this is one of my favorite cameras. You want to make sure it's as straight as possible, and you just tighten it on there in your tripod mount. This will work, these clamps will work on any camera with a tripod mount. Now, after that, we just loosen this knob right here in order to fit our camera into place. We want to make sure it is as centered as possible. And then we have it. It's set up just like that. Now, after I do that, the way I was setting it up is you actually release this. You want your weight is down as far as possible to help with balance. But as we hold the camera, you're gonna notice that it has a bit of a lean. It has a lot of a lean. So we might actually have to switch it over to counterbalance that lean. The camera itself, side to side, is pretty even weight. So what I would do in that case is I would unscrew this bit here, pull that guy off. I'm gonna pull this clamp out, and then clamp it on right here. And that way it is reversible based on how you need to use it. Now we have a larger lens on here. We have my Sigma 10 to 20 millimeter, so we need to be able to counterbalance that. And as you see, it still leans forward. And that's where these weights on the bottom come in handy. We're actually gonna loosen these up, and we're gonna move them to counterbalance that lens. It still leans forward a little bit, so we'll move these ones back. If we need to remove weights, we can. Still have a little bit of a forward lean, so we're gonna unscrew these all together. We're gonna reduce our weights. Now I'm gonna leave those on there, and I'm gonna do it one at a time to see how much I need to reduce. So then I'm going to add some of those weights that we just took off of the front onto the back side. And it looks like one of them does just fine. So we are going to put the screw back through, screw here, back through here, set it down, grab our wing nut, screw the wing nut back on. Now, when I went out and actually used this, I generally use my Sony camera because the Sony's a little bit lighter, it's not quite as front heavy, and it seems to work out a little bit better in that regard to things. But we're gonna see how well this will work for us. Now, when I pick it up, it's a lot better balance. It's no longer leaning forward. We can go out and get those shots that we want to get. We were able to balance this thing here. Now, with the Sony, I actually have it set like this. I have to weigh it on each side to balance the Sony because the lens doesn't stick out quite as far. But as you can see, with the Nikon D5300, with that Sigma, it is a lot better balanced than it was before, and I'll show you again what it looks like before. So I'll undo this wing nut. See it lean forward like that? And that's what it was doing before, is it leans forward just like that, whereas we want it as steady and even as possible. So that's the basics on how to balance it. Let's now jump into the portion of the video where we're at Greeley Subaru and I am practicing with this. Nick got some footage, I got some footage. I hope you all enjoy it. Hey, what's up you guys? Nick here, and I'm here with Nick Del Duca. He is running the B-roll right now, and we are starting the first episode of Cinematic Bootcamp. Now, I have a commercial that I have to shoot in September for a very good friend of mine who is opening a coffee shop. And that means I need to learn how to take better cinematics. So today, Nick is gonna teach us some tricks on how to use this properly. The camera we're going to be using to record today is gonna be the Sony A6100 that we purchased from Nick not that long ago. And I've played with this a little bit. The issue though is, when I played with it, I had a microphone on it. And since we're not using the microphone today, we have to rebalance our Steadicam. So I'm gonna lock this in here, extend this guy here, and let's check the balance on this guy. Actually, it's a little more balanced than I expected it to be, but it shouldn't be swobbling like that. So we're gonna adjust the weights just a hair. That is much better. Oh, it's easier to use than I remember. Now the lens we are using is the standard E-mount lens that came with the Sony right here. It is a 16 to 50 millimeter telescopic lens. It is f3.5 to 5.6 minimum, depending on how much you've zoomed in or out. We talked about that in my telephoto lens video, which I will link down in the description as well. And it looks like I might have to balance this just a bit more. That looks pretty good, actually. Now the biggest issue I've had running this camera rig so far is that when I walk kind of dumb, so it bounces. So what we're gonna try to figure out how to do today is walk without the bounce, as well as planning our shots before we actually take them. Now Nick and I already did a little bit of that. We're gonna go walk you through what we planned, and then we're gonna try to shoot it with this rig right here. All right, everyone, we're gonna give this a try. As you can see, we're gonna try it with one hand. You have to be really steady with your walking is what I've noticed. And we're a little bit crooked still. I don't have the weights exactly how I want them. And you're gonna see a mix of B-roll coming out of my Sony as well as Nick's Sony. That is not better. It's weird how the weight on this camera works. Oh, there we go. That's better. So as you can see, it's a little shaky, but it looks like you're walking. I'm being very meticulous about my feet. You can probably see it in Nick's footage. Now I'm gonna put one hand down to try to keep it from twisting back and forth like that as we're walking.
and I'm just watching the monitor. These are the tricks that I was told, you know, watch the monitor, walk steady. It's okay if there's a little bit of shake because it gives it the feeling as if you're walking, or, you know, if it's a POV, if someone's being followed. It's not as smooth as a gimbal, but the gimbal can almost look artificial at times when done in a certain way. Now, as I turn, I'm using one hand. The camera turns with me, but we got a little bit of shake, so I'll try to adjust that. And we just keep walking back and forth to practice with our stabilizer. Now, one thing I didn't realize when I broke the stabilizer out is how heavy it is on your arm when you have it stretched out like this. I'm gonna have to do some forearm exercises the more I use this. And look, we're getting shakier, so I'll grab the bottom to try to unshaky it. We're gonna go down, we're gonna pan up, we're gonna pan side, we're gonna pan side. See, that jerking motion was from me grabbing the base too hard and not really going slow about it.
So as you saw from that, you got to see me actually going out and practicing at Greeley Subaru with this Steadicam. And I practiced with it a lot over the last few weeks since that was filmed. And what I've learned is that it takes a little bit of finesse. It takes a little bit of getting used to and working with the Steadicam. And I actually went and gave it a try at a wedding, and I think what I captured was absolutely amazing. Now, that video at Subaru where I was practicing with this was taken about 2 or 3 weeks ago, probably about 3 weeks now, and I think that I've improved a lot. I've spent a lot of hours with this. I probably spent 12 to 15 hours wandering around on walks with the dogs, just practicing keeping as steady as possible. And I think it's accumulated into the wonderful wedding footage that I captured that I'm now going to share with you. So I hope you enjoyed that wedding footage. I hope you saw the improvement between the wedding footage and my footage taken at Greeley Subaru. Again, this little pseudo-photo stabilizer, I'll have a link for it down in the description. It seems to work really, really well. This is the first Steadicam I've ever used, so I'm not going to review it because I don't know what a good one is supposed to feel like. If this is in fact a good one, if you know any better, please let me know down in the comments. Now, what I do like about this system is how modular it is. I showed you that when we were kind of putting it together, where with the Swiss clamp facing this way, I'm able to have the weights back and forth so I can accommodate a larger lens. But if I want them facing side to side like I do with the Sony, then I can easily put on this clamp that actually came with the kit, and it allows me to be a little more modular and a little more easy going with it, and allows me to just change the camera settings I'm using, the equipment settings I'm using, whether it's lenses, microphones, or monitors. Now, this is the first episode of our cinematic bootcamp. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said in the very beginning, Mr. B said that you need to make every video a little bit better. Part of that is going to be me making better cinematics. And since I don't know a lot about cinematics, I thought you would all like to come on the journey with me. Now, if you enjoyed the video, please like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification so you know right when I upload. At 1,500 subscribers, I'm giving away a metal print of this image here. And at 5,000 subscribers, I'm giving away a Nikon D5300 with a Yongnuo 50mm lens, and you all know how much I love that setup. What makes projects like this possible, and what makes it possible for me to do some of the large upcoming projects now, is your support. It's fantastic that I now have AdSense and I'm able to get a little bit of revenue to help out with those costs now, but buying merch always helps. I'll have a link to this t-shirt as well as my Teespring and Red Bull down in the description below. I want to thank you all for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this kind of new take, this new video style, and really, if the video quality is better than other videos of mine you have seen, please comment that down below. It really helps the channel. I want to thank all of you again. You guys have a wonderful afternoon, and I'll catch you all on the flip side. Bye.